Welcome. This is Grammy Queen. If you are joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. This is where we are activating self-full love to really feeling that we can spill over with love. Just nourish people with love, throw a basket of love here and there, like as we have in our template for the here we have for sacrifice. That is the template. But of course, when we understand this process, I don't think it would really mean a shedding of blood and a shedding of our flesh and giving away of our flesh, but it does. Well, I perhaps will have to say yes and no because it still requires us to do a degree of shedding, sacrificing of that by cleansing our blood, by cleansing our thoughts, by cleansing our flesh. That means by changing our diet, by eating healthier, by exercising, by being mindful of the words we use, by spreading love and being kind. And I have a list of words from that denotes the numerical value of 5 by breathing. The word breathe is 5. The word mouth, which I speak with, is 5. Chamber, of course, this is a chamber as well. Finger, of course, we are always pointing with our finger, and we see it as the finger. When we think of God, it's like we could see God with a finger. Don't you be naughty now, or else I'm going to have to deal with you. you know Okay, the word bring. Now, I find that very interesting that the word bring is 32, which is in direct correlation with the word Christ. That is 5. Now, I'm doing this third presentation here is to focus on the word created. Created is the fifth word of the first verse of the Bible. So I am now, it would be interesting. I just had a thought. It would be interesting to also see the ninth word of that verse. So the ninth word is thee. Now that is very, very interesting. I find that extremely interesting. Well, that's perhaps going OTT, but why? Because we are working with number 1 to 9. The first verse has 10 numbers. It has 10 words rather. So 10 words, and the last word is earth. Now the last word is earth, and it equals 7. So God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, we were told, and on the seventh day he rested. So we could see that the last word encapsulated the day of rest. It was in that new cycle, that new era, we could say. Okay, but the word the is equals 6, and 6 and 9 is really one and the same. We have done this several times. When we do the numerical value for the word 9, it equals 6. So we see how the ninth word, which is the, equals also coincides with 9. But the first word equals 5, which is in the middle. Okay, let's not get too wrapped up in this, but let's further explore the word created. We are exploring the word created because the fruit that Mother Eve ate of is in the middle of the word created. The waters that God saw in the second verse of Genesis of chapter 1, and God and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep, and the waters and God divided the waters from the waters. He didn't divide the waters then, but the Spirit of God moved upon the darkness of the deep. Okay, but there was the waters. The word waters equals 5. Waters. So this is 195215. Okay. So waters is now giving us a mirror image, if you like, of the numbers, on the sacrifice template. So we see the sacrifice template is really from 1 to 9. We see that 1 to 9, 191 is here, and that it is 9, the R and the S, of course. So let's add this up. Let's add this up. Okay, so this is 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. So 23. So we see waters is like the reverse. It's the reflection. It's the reflection of the word Christ on here. So when we do the word for Christ, Christ, which is 219983. Okay, so this is 12, and 9 would be 21, and 8 would be 29, 30, 32. So we see there's 32 here, and there's 23 here. So we see, oh, this is Christ and waters. Yes, we done waters here. So waters and Christ is really the same, one and the same, because in the waters is the reflection. If you stand against water or a lake, you will see your reflection, or you are meant to see reflection from the waters. So here we have, and this is why I am saying that Christ and Mother Eve, when we do Mother Eve, of course, Eve is 14, but we see the lineage of Christ. Christ came from a lineage of 14. When we do that, 14 generations of 14, that this in the genealogy from Matthew in the New Testament, we see that Christ come from the genealogy or the generation of 14. Okay, there we have it. So we see how 5 comes about in alignment with this. Also, when we do the numerical value for the I am that I am believing that came to 14 as well, or 23, but we won't, let's just do it quickly to see how I am that and it's I am. Okay. So this is 9, this is 5. I've done this before, and this is 4, and this is 9, and this is 5. Of course, let's add this up. Yeah, so this is 14, and 4 would be 18. So that would be 9, and this is 9, and 5 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so there we have 9 plus 5 is 14. So this is what I mean about I am that I am. And when we do the numerical value for Eve, 5, 4, 5, 5, 10, 14. We see this is 14, and Christ coming being 14. So here we see with waters, the word waters, the word Eve, of course, water is feminine. It's that feminine that is nurturing, that we are 80% water. And is it any wonder that the word roughly 80%. We are told 70 to 80, but we could say 80 with this 8 right here that coincides with the word eat right here. Okay, so let's further explore the word create. Create. I love the word create because I tend to believe I believe I'm a creative being. I have an affirmation where I said, I am a creative being in a creative world, doing a creative work for a creative cause. Something. I just love it. I just love the word create. Okay. I am a creative being in a creative world, doing a creative work or having a creative fun. Okay. So, so we see how create has created. The word created, we are going to explore and see how that has impacted our lives. Because I believe in the word create, because we are going within now. We are going within. The word create, let's just see, it has create. I might have done this before, I believe I have, but it has create. Or did I do it from the word sacrifice? I did that from the word sacrifice. Yes, okay. So it has crate, it has rat, it has rate. This is where we pay our rates. It has rate, it has it. We have done, let's just do it. Okay, eight here. ATE and ETEAT. It's got ET as well. Yeah, it has ET as well because we are talking about um, aliens as well. God created, this is what we're told, God created all things. All things. Okay, all right. So there we are, and we have TED Talk. Should we have TED Talk? Okay. Um, TEA. We love our tea. We won't do without our tea. Let's because I feel we're going to need a lot of space. Okay. Okay. Tea, right? We have treat. TREAT, and we have tread, TREAD. We have react. Now that's the word I think that is key. React, reacted. That is the whole thing. God created and there was reaction. This is what we're told, for everything there is a reaction. I love this. Isn't that delicious? Indeed. Indeed. Okay, so reacted. Okay. And other words? Help. Okay. At, that is a position we're at. Um, okay. Re, let's see. There must be another re-et. Would someone know? Okay. Tac, T-A-C, T-A-C. Okay. Track. Track. Tract. Tract. Okay. That is the most beautiful word. A-R-T. That is just really lovely. And we have dots because here, the dot games, the bullseye, D-A-R-T. Of course, dot. And we had rat. We have okay, so we can hold on to this for now, but I'm believing the main thing we have here is reacted. Just to ensure I have done this, ACTED. We have used the whole word. This is the whole thing. So this is the mirror image of creation. is to react. So basically, God created. That means we were not just meant to act, we were meant to react. Now, I am wondering as well whether, since we are looking at mirror image to the whole of what we have been presented, wasn't that creation a reaction of God, like recreating the God in Genesis? Everything was already in, of course, from the waters, because I'm going to go through this verse by verse and see. But in the same chapter of verse 20, when God called the creature out of the water, that which had life. I don't know how I didn't really get this before. That's something about when your third eye is open, I would say, you see things that you hadn't seen before all your life, and it's the same words. So the creature that had life, and then it is said God created beast. He called the great beast, the creature, out from the abundantly from the waters. Oh, they had to come out, that which had life. It's like I get the image of God doing this experimentation of cloning or taking here and taking there and creating and mixing and doing. And of course, further down in the scriptures, we hear how he regretted even creating man. But we know, we could say, for instance, that man or human was perhaps in existence before all this, because when we hear about Cain and Abel, they went off and married. Who did they go and marry? Did they marry into, and they had children? So that was this we have been fed with, had been another, I get the impression was an evolution, a new creation, a new whatever that happened with us. Perhaps that we have come like a new species, something have been added, or I don't know, subtracted. We had been or operated. It's like everything has a seed. Everything had derived from that word created. That word created also consists of the act of being operated. R-A-T-E-D, operated on. I think the D is perhaps meant to be and have this O, operate, or we could see that the words are very close in that sense. So I'm going to perhaps do another video looking at these words closer and to see how the word created has impacted our lives so profoundly. How we have, what meanings we have made of that word create. When we use the word create, what are we thinking? We are just thinking God created us from scratch, from the dust of the earth, as said, and that would be it. But we also see that if we are 80% water, and it did not speak about God creating the waters. God looked upon the waters on the face of the deep And if the waters were deep, it would denote that there was something lurking beneath the surface of the waters. There would be something under the waters. And it would denote that everything, every form of life derived from the waters. It derived from the waters. And so we see that even when God separated the waters from the waters, that's when they became what we call dry land. We see further down in the scriptures how dry land is also um, synonymous with a barren woman, a woman who is unable to conceive. So that would denote that the feminine, the divine feminine hair, when we say divine, there's a vine, that's the tree. In fact, when I use the word divine in this sense, and this is why Christ says, I am the vine, He divine. It's not it's because we also have the spirit of sound mind. That's what God said. I have not given you the spirit of fear, but I have given you the spirit of sound mind. And there is something very profound about sound, meaning, of course, sound. We could have, with the sound, we have round. There is really no difference here. These are really the shape. The S is really the snake are saying, which denotes wisdom that can take on any shape. That is it here. So sound, I have given you round. I have given you ground. Hence the snake is on the ground as well. So divine meaning is really the vine. Now, if I am clear about this vine, let's do the numerical value 5594. So this is 1023. 23, I have a good memory. 23 is really, this is 5. So we are talking about Mother Eve right here, the vine. And even if we were to say that this equals 6, which it does, this is, when we add this is 15. Let's see where this, how this shows on our template. 23, 4 on the screen. This is what I love, that synchronistic element here. So 3 5s are 15. We see this is the 5s here, 5, 10, 15. That's the, which has given us, this is the 5, this is the vine. This is where we are wanting to be, or to acknowledge ourselves, because we are there, but it's the consciousness of acknowledging ourselves there. It's the realm, the different dimensions that we have been presented, that we have been short-sighted in seeing where we're at. That's why we have this template, to be able to acknowledge our position in saying, okay, at what angle am I looking at the waters, or my reflection in the waters? Am I looking up or down? But it really doesn't matter so much which end you're at. What really matters is the acknowledgement of where you're at, understanding where you're at, so you can get here. We can be there. That's where we're at. Okay, so we have the 6, of course. If we add 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. We see it gives us that 6 here. And we have the vine. This is the vine that takes us right into the mouth. The mouth is like the mother's womb, that which is that conceive and that which births. Of course, on 9, I always use this as where we birth the newness. This is where we go through that inception, if you like. We say that, but it's beginning and end. This is where when we get to this point, this is where we become conscious. This is where we become illuminated. We see things on different levels. Things are looking brighter. The flowers are brighter. The voices are clearer. Our eyesights are much clearer. Our smile, our skin, our youth, our skin, the texture becomes more beautiful. Our hair, we don't have, we condense. Um, I was going to say condense is perhaps not appropriate, but we shed. We have shed our skin, we have shed the excess of the things that we have been carrying. And so we no longer require the validation of others to understand our position. We are self accepting, we are self loving, and of course, we have replenished ourselves so much that we can just throw a portion of love here, throw a portion of love here and there, because we are able to see. This seeing is like the eye. They say it's the window to the soul, but the it also denotes Mother Eve right here. This is where we are able to see from our third eye. When we are in this position, it is true you don't need no buttocks anymore. You do not need to be sticking needles on your face to get rid of wrinkles and creases, because you are glowing. You are full with, because the word create, you have ate of life, you have ate of sustenance, something to nourish you. And I feel that I could really go on, because I have had such wonderful, delicious experiences. Of course, the initial experience, as I say, of opening the third eye is that it requires us to go through a sacrificial course. We are required. I like that red S. It's as if the blood, the snake, the red snake is ready. It's on fire. It's ready to transform us. It is ready to move through our spinal cord. It's ready to explode through our brain and ignite our pineal gland. It is ready to do that. And so we can find ourselves feeling better, feeling lighter, feeling more loving towards ourselves and others. It then becomes very easy to look yourself in the mirror and says, I love who I am becoming. I totally love and embrace myself exactly as I am. It becomes much easier because it is real then. Okay. Do join me again. This is the fourth episode on created, the word created, and I really would like to explore this verse, which is the first verse of the Bible. This one word, which is the middle word. It's like it looks a bit like a pyramid. This is it. This is the 5. It equals 2. The word created equals 2. Of course, but 2 and 5, as we have seen, 5 is Christ, 5 is waters, 2 and 5 is 7, and that is encapsulates the whole 6 days of creation, including the 7th day of rest. So there we are, looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And then we have 5, and then it's 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, if we add this together, this is interesting as well. So I do this, I count like this. I take the one from here, put it on here, and I say 3 8s are 24 because we were taught to count a certain way. And every so often we hinge onto that which had been repetitive, unless you found an easier way for yourself to really make it work, which is what I've done. So 24 and 6 would be 30. So we have 3 here. And then if we add this together here, this has become 10. I have done this. This is 7 and 3, 10. So 10. Now, when we add these together, of course, if we add 1 and 3, that becomes 4, 4 and 5 is 9. This is what we are working with, of course. Now, we see here how the number 13 comes into play right here. 13 is that magic number in itself. We can see how that happens on the template, but because we are not really looking at 13 right now, of course, let us, and this is on 30 minutes, of course, over 30 minutes, let's consolidate this session here. And I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this fun and intriguing. And if you like this, click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. Stay blessed, stay bright, be a field, be ignited, because we are planting new seeds and spill over with love. Namaste.